Hello, my name is Madeline Sexton. This is for Microbiology Week 2. Experiment is bacterial enumeration, dilutions, and plate counts. I'm going to put my mask on. So I already have 2.5 milliliters of distilled water in each of the cylinders. And I have them labeled and I have the corresponding plates right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all the alcohol out of my pipette. I have my yeast solution right here. I've let it sit for about 10-15 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 0.25 milliliters of the yeast solution, and it's going to go into the first cylinder. And I'm gonna pipette it in and out a few times to make sure everything's been out of the pipette, and then I'm gonna grab 0.25 milliliters of the first test tube, and it's gonna go into the second test tube. I'm gonna pipette that in and out as well. And then I'm going to grab 0.25 of the second, and it's going to go into the third. And then I'm going to pipette that in and out as well. And then I'm going to grab 0.25 of the third, and it's going to go into the fourth. Pipette that in and out. So I'm going to grab 0.25 milliliters of the fourth one. It's going to go into the fifth one. Gonna pipette that in and out, and then I'm gonna grab 0.25 milliliters of the fifth one, goes into the sixth one, pipette it in and out. Then I'm gonna place my pipette in the alcohol. Okay, my pipette is now sterile, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 4 drops of each of these solution into the corresponding plate. So I'm going to grab my first. I'm going to open my plate, add 1, 2, 3, 4, put it back. I'm going to swirl it around to disperse it over the entire plate. Alright, first one. I'm going to go to the second one, to my second plate as well, and I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 drops. I'm going to swirl it around to disperse it throughout the entire plate, and that's going there as well. I'm now going to my third solution and my third plate. I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 drops, and I'm going to swirl it around to disperse it over the entire plate. I'm now going to move on to my fourth. I'm going to go to my fourth plate, and I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 drops of this solution. And I'm going to mix it around. Alright, I'm now going to my fifth. I'm going to bring up my solution, and I'm going to add 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to swirl it around. I'm now on to my sixth and final one. I'm going to pipette up the solution, and I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 drops. And then I'm going to swirl it around to make sure it is dispersed evenly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to invert the plates. I'm going to let them sit there for 12 hours. I'll go back to my incubation area and then I'm going to flip them and then leave them for another 36 hours. So I'll update after the 48 hours. I'm actually going to leave my plates lid side up for the 12 hours like this so that it can absorb, and then afterwards I'm going to invert them for 36 hours. So I don't invert and then flip. I'm going to leave them and then invert after 12 hours. Hi, so it's been about 24 hours, 20 to 30 hours actually, and I have my developed cultures, so I don't think you're going to be able to see super well on my camera, but this is the first one, so there's a bunch of colonies. Second, same. Third, which one's pretty good. This one's going to be viable, I think. 4, which I think will also be viable. 5 has little to nothing on it. There's like, I can barely see it in direct light. And then here's the 6th one, which I believe that has absolutely nothing on it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and count some of these. Probably the 3rd and the 4th one are going to be my best bet for the colonies. And then I'm going to dispose. So I'm going to soak all of these cultures in a pure bleach solution for 2 hours. And then I'm going to dispose of them. So that's the end of week 2, bacterial enumeration, dilutions, and plate counts.